There is a terrific story in the Washington Post today about Yemen. It's not terrific because it's good news, it's horrible news, but it's really great reporting. So, you know, the Obama administration has been saying, see, I almost called them the Bush administration, but in fact, with the drones, they're worse than the Bush administration. They have been saying that, oh my God, don't worry, one, there's no civilian casualties, because we found out in a New York Times story earlier in the week that it turns out that if anybody is male and Muslim in the area and not infants, they call them terrorists. Militants, combatants. They say, well, you could prove that they're innocent posthumously, meaning after we kill them. But unless you prove that, we're going to call them militants. And hence, since we define it that way, there are no civilian casualties. And even that's not true as we're about to show you. And they've been saying, hey, you know what? We're doing a great job of dealing a death blow to al-Qaeda in Yemen. Well, this story shows you, in fact, it's the exact opposite. So, the main point that the story is making, and it's not the opinion of the story, they've talked to a lot of locals, as I'm about to share with you, and it's them saying it, is that the drone strikes have made the local population so angry that they're turning to al-Qaeda. A local businessman, Salim al-Barakani, said that his two brothers were killed. One was a teacher and the other one was a cell phone repairman. They had nothing to do with al-Qaeda, and he said, quote, "These attacks are making people say, we believe now that al-Qaeda is on the right side." So get a load of that. They didn't like al-Qaeda before. They had no reason to be part of al-Qaeda. But if you kill my two brothers, well, then I'm going to be against you. And they say, so who's against the United States of America who killed my brothers? Oh, al-Qaeda is? All right, great. I'm with you guys now. Now, look, yeah, you hate al-Qaeda. I hate al-Qaeda. Yeah, Can you not understand that on a human level? Isn't that the most obvious thing in the world? So it gets much deeper. The Washington Post explains, but as in tribal areas of Pakistan, where U.S. drone strikes have significantly weakened al-Qaeda's capabilities, an unintended consequence of the attacks has been a marked radicalization of the local population, meaning we have made them far, far more radical than they used to be, which is what happens if you kill their family. Well, the first strike that President Obama authorized in Yemen in 2009 is unfortunately the best example of that. It was done in a section called Abyan province, and what it did was it killed 14 women and 21 children. Of course, initially the Obama administration said, oh, no, they were all terrorists. Oh, really? Oh, women and children. No, that one's tough to deny. And then they had Yemen arrest the reporter that actually took the pictures and showed the victims and showed the bombs with "Made in the USA" on them. And then Yemen was recently going to release that reporter. President Obama personally called the leader of Yemen to say, do not release that journalist. We don't like that he's showing that we're killing civilians. But here's what you got to understand. Whether you show it or you don't, whether it's politically embarrassing to you or not, the people on the ground see it. And you turn them into fighters against the United States of America. Now they're all trying to figure out how to bomb us. In fact, one of the people from that province, Abdulaziz Muhammad Hamza, said, quote, all the residents of the area have joined al-Qaeda. Now, look, think about it in your town. Let's say you live in a town, Springfield, Missouri, and somebody comes and drops a bomb, kills women and children, dozens of them. Wouldn't everybody in that town hate the guy who dropped the bomb, hate the country that dropped the bomb, worked against that country? Of course they would. Of course they would. See, this isn't, I don't mind a drone strike if you're going to go kill bin Laden, et cetera. It's better than invading a whole country. But what did I tell you yesterday on the program? I said, look, I'm against dumb drone strikes. As President Obama once said, apparently he didn't mean, but said, I'm not against all wars, I'm against dumb wars, when he was referring to Iraq. I'm not against all drone strikes, I'm against dumb drone strikes that turn the population against us. Speaking of that, Washington Post summarizes in this way. The evidence of radicalization emerged in more than 20 interviews with tribal leaders, victims' relatives, human rights activists, and officials from 4 provinces in southern Yemen where U.S. strikes have targeted suspected militants. They described a strong shift in sentiment toward militants affiliated with transnational networks' most active wing, al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. We turn them to al-Qaeda. Now, look, there are more quotes and more numbers behind that. Here is Muhammad al-Ahmadi. He's a legal coordinator in Karama. He says, quote, the drones are killing al-Qaeda leaders, but they're also turning them into heroes. Now, why is that? Two reasons. One, after a drone hits, nobody wants to go in that area because sometimes they do a double hit. The minute people come in for a rescue, they go, oh, more militants, fantastic. And they hit them again, right? So people know that, they stay away. What does al-Qaeda do? They go, don't worry, we will go collect the bodies of your dead relatives and help you bury them. You just handed them a huge prize. That makes them seem like the good guys. They're not the good guys. They kill innocent civilians. But in that case, they help you bury your family. Well, what are you going to do? Those guys killed my brother, and those guys helped me bury him. And they say that they're going to get vengeance, and that's point number two. Vengeance for my brother. Well, then I'm going to go join them. This is so obvious to everyone except all the people in power that are making these decisions. All right, here's another point. Ali Abdullah Saleh, who was the former president, had one of his top advisors, Sultan al-Barakani, say this, quote, Yemen is paying a heavy price, losing its sons, but the Americans are not paying the same price. Now, the reason I give you that quote is because it gives you a sense of the rage inside Yemen. Oh, my kids get killed, but the Americans pay no price? They don't even pay any attention, let alone a price. Well, I'm going to make them pay attention. And then we create more people who are ready to attack us. This is a terrible idea. Continuing, Muhammad al-Ahmadi again. He says, every time the American attacks increase, they increase the rage of the Yemeni people, especially in al-Qaeda-controlled areas. So even if you're bombing an al-Qaeda-controlled area, you get to go, ha-ha, we told you al-Qaeda's there. But you turn out that area more al-Qaeda when you do a bombing because you wind up killing innocent civilians as well. Now we go to the numbers. Before President Obama started doing the bombing, the estimate for number of al-Qaeda members in Yemen was 300. Today, the estimate is 700 or more. And they're way undercounting there, as the Washington Post explains, that does not count hundreds of tribesmen who have joined al-Qaeda because they want to fight back against the US-backed Yemeni government as well. So those guys also get it. So wait a minute, I thought we were stamping out al-Qaeda in Yemen. It turns out we more than doubled them at a bare minimum. And this is not just outside sources and scholars and activists who are counting the bodies and keeping track of how much al-Qaeda has increased. It's even our own government. National Security Council spokesperson Tommy Vitter actually agreed, saying, quote, AQAP, that's al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, has grown in strength over the last year. So then why do you continue to do counterproductive bombing? And finally, to give you a sense of why this is driving Yemen to be more in favor of al-Qaeda, here's a quote from another citizen from inside Yemen. The Americans are targeting the sons of Ablaq, and that is his province. I would fight even the devil to exact revenge for my nephew. Now, are you going to blame him? I don't know what I would do if they killed my nephew. I don't know what I would do if they killed someone I love in my family. I don't know what I'm capable of. But I certainly would sit down and listen to the guys who say they're going to fight back against the people that killed my family. This is a bad idea. It does not help the United States of America. It doesn't make us safer. It makes us less safe. As the Washington Post explains throughout the story, now all these people are plotting actual attacks against the United States of America, when before they had no enmity or hatred towards America at all. Some initially did, obviously, and in trying to kill them, we've created far more enemies against us. And the next time we have a bombing here in the US that comes from Yemen, we're going to turn around and say, I don't get it. Why do they hate us? Maybe they hate us because we dropped a bomb on their head.